Hello, and welcome to ScrapTV, the video forum for the ISRI and Scrap Magazine websites. I'm Kent Kaiser, your ScrapTV host. Today, I'm fortunate to have Kyle Wiens with me. Kyle is the co-founder and co-owner of iFixit, and I will let Kyle tell you a bit about it. So Kyle, how do you describe iFixit to someone who's never heard about the company?
iFixit is an easy way to learn how to repair anything. We have instructions on step-by-step instructions on how to open up an iPhone and repair it, how to repair a bicycle, how to work on your car.
Okay.
And anybody can contribute, so you can think of us like Wikipedia for repairing things.
Okay, awesome. All right, can you tell me what motivated you to start iFixit in the first place?
I was trying to fix my laptop, and I was having a really hard time figuring out where all the plastic tabs and latches were. It was complicated mechanically, and so I spent some time on the internet looking for the manufacturer repair manual, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I bumbled my way through the repair. I pulled the thing apart. I broke some tabs in the process, and I said there has to be a better way. So after I got the thing fixed, mostly, it was never really quite the same. I got mostly fixed. I spent some time looking around online, saying, "What is the problem? Why isn't this information available?" And I learned that there were a number of people that had posted the repair information, and the manufacturer had sent them legal threats saying, "We do not want anyone to know how to fix this thing." So the manufacturers have the copyright to these repair manuals.
Okay.
And we have seen time and time again manufacturers use copyright law as a bludgeon to keep people from knowing how to repair their stuff.
Oh, interesting.
We said, this is a problem. We need to do something about this. I didn't have a way to force their hand, to force them to share the copyright. So we said, well, we'll just write our own information.
Oh, that's amazing. So how long ago was this that you got started?
We got started about 12 years ago. And we've been at it ever since. We've been writing new repair guides. We started when I was in the dorms at university. And we've been kind of expanding ever since. And now we have people from all around the world contributing repair information. iFixit only writes about 15% of the repair guides that are on the site. The rest are written by the community, by people like you. There's probably something that you know how to fix that I don't. Probably a few things I know how to fix that you don't. And so if we pool our knowledge together, everybody benefits.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Now, your website says that iFixit is, quote, committed to solving the e-waste problem by impairing repair all over the world. What is the e-waste problem in your view?
I think there's two major problems with the electronics industry. One is that a lot of products that are manufactured are not economical to recycle or are being handled in ways where they're not getting the maximum recovery material.
Okay.
That's one problem. Okay. The other problem is that manufacturing electronics is hugely resource intensive and people don't understand how intensive it is.
Sure.
So there's a couple solutions to this. One is we need to improve the effectiveness and reach of sound electronics recycling around the world. We need to be building more recycling plants in Africa, for example. Okay. The other issue is that a lot of the stuff just cannot be recovered in recycling. We need to be manufacturing fewer products. The products that we do manufacture need to be lasting a lot longer. So right now in the U.S., people go through a cell phone every 18 months. Well, if you use a cell phone and then toss it in the trash or toss it in the drawer, that's losing value. Somebody else would like to use that.
Sure.
So we need to figure out how are we going to get these things out in the market, getting used for as long as possible, getting repaired when they break, because they will. If it's going to break, that's okay. A phone can get repaired 3, 4, 5 times in its life.
Wow.
There's no reason that a cell phone shouldn't last 10 years.
That's great. Okay. All right. Well, how much and what kind of opposition has your work elicited from electronics manufacturers?
Some manufacturers work with us closely and we have a great relationship with them. Fairphone is an example of a cell phone manufacturer that said, we want our phone to be repairable, we're going to design it to be repairable, and we're going to include the repair manual on the phone. Okay. So that's pretty neat, and they've done a great job of that. They make parts available. Other manufacturers continue to use these legal threats to prevent people from repairing things. Apple has been very active. Toshiba has been very active in saying, no, we don't want this information to get out there. Which is, it's harming repair. It's also a real challenge for recyclers because they'll say, hey, I have these 10 Toshiba laptops. I'm going to pull the displays out of each of them. Which displays are compatible with which other products? Well, you need the service manual which has the parts compatibility list to be able to know that, right? Sure. Toshiba has been sending legal threats to anybody that has that information. So they're systematically eroding the value of their products, which erodes the incentive to recycle them well. Sure. It also, I think, erodes customer interest in the product at the front end. Huh. So this is an area where manufacturer behavior is a little self-destructive. They are hurting the resale value of their products, which I think hurts the upfront consumer interest.
Okay, all right. So what positive signs, if any, have you seen that electronics manufacturers are starting to get the picture? I mean, are you encouraged or discouraged at this point that there's going to be change?
I think that the most encouraging thing is that people are starting to take matters into their own hands. They're bypassing the manufacturers. You have sites like iFixit. We have millions of people every month on the website. YouTube, people are sharing information on YouTube. So people are finding their way around the manufacturer issues. There are a lot of interest around the country in people passing legislation to force the manufacturer's hand. There are a number of states that are considering right to repair legislation that will require manufacturers to share this information. So I'm optimistic about things like that. I think that over time, consumers and recyclers, reuse centers are going to be able to pry control back away from the manufacturers. Okay. But it's going to be a long battle.
Okay. You mentioned legislation. Tell me some of the legislative battles you're fighting now to work on these issues.
So right at this moment, there are bills moving in Minnesota, Massachusetts, and New York, where legislators are saying, please share repair information, parts, diagnostic tools, airbag deployment tools. I mean, things that recyclers need to be able to recycle these things effectively. And that's just the beginning. There's a groundswell. There's a lot of other states that are interested in working on this issue. The manufacturers are coming out saying, hey, we don't need regulation. And you wish that they were right, but you've got 2 decades of malfeasance on their part that's really caused a lot of problems. Imagine if all of the CRT companies had shared composition of glass, information on how to recycle these up front. We might have been able to transition to a better industry much, much sooner.
Sure.
But now all those TV companies have gone out of business. We've got to pass the laws now where they're making these products.
Good point. So how about on the national level? I know you've had a couple of things working nationally, legislatively.
The biggest challenge that reuse faces at a national level is copyright law, again. But it's a different copyright law. There's a law that was passed in 1998 that makes it illegal to circumvent digital locks. Well, why would a recycler care about a digital lock? You can have a cell phone that's locked to AT&T. And if you want to move that phone to Verizon, it might be worth more money on Verizon. There's locks that prevent you from being able to do that. Same thing with tablets, same thing with game consoles, same thing with a lot of different products. So we were able to, with ISRI's help, get a law passed to legalize cell phone unlocking temporarily. So that was a big win last year. But that law expires in December. So we've applied for a renewal of that, and we will see. But there's a lot of these issues around reuse. Anytime someone puts a lock on something and doesn't give you the key, it's not there for your benefit.
True. How about the kill switch thing?
Kill switch is a major issue. So you have kill switch as an anti-theft device on cell phones. That's fine. Let's mitigate theft on phones, but we have to find a way to give recyclers the keys when you lawfully own the device. So how do you prove that the chain of custody that you own something? Very similar to cars, right? You have a car, end up at the junkyard. Okay, and you don't have the key to it. Does that mean that the car was stolen? No, it doesn't mean the car was stolen. It just means they didn't give you the key. We have the same issue with cell phones.
I see. Okay. All right. You've been quoted as saying the hardest part of repair can be finding good parts. Many manufacturers just don't make them available. What steps have you taken at iFixit to address that?
So we've been selling parts alongside our repair manuals for a long time. Sometimes we'll get parts from aftermarket sources. Sometimes we'll get parts from brand new machines. We'll buy new computers and we'll pull them apart. Now we're excited. We have a partnership with Electronics Recyclers International where they have parts that we're going to do to shredder that we're able to rescue and test and put our warranty on them and sell them. And that's been going very well, and we're able to get products out in the market for a number of manufacturers where there just weren't options before.
That's great. Do you see yourself doing similar partnerships with other recyclers, or is this the only one?
I am very open to ideas. We are shredding huge amounts of value across the recycling industry, and it's not our fault. It's just, right, what's the most expedient way to work through this material? But if you can shred a computer and get $5 of commodity value, or refurbish it, maybe pull a couple components out of it that are worth $50, it's clear where we need to be moving. So we're excited to be helping move the entire industry forward into more and more reuse and parts recovery.
Great. All right. In general, which electronics manufacturers make the most repair-friendly devices? Which are the worst? You kind of mentioned this, but is it something you can generalize, or does it vary on the product they put out?
It completely varies by product. The company that I would say across the board has been doing a really good job is Dell. Dell makes repair information available on their website. They are at the top of our tablet repairability list. Lenovo and HP also make a lot of very repairable products. HP on their laptops and desktops. Again, both of those make parts available. Manufacturers that are not being very helpful, Apple, Sony, Toshiba, not all that helpful. Apple refuses to sell service parts to anybody. Their tablets are designed to, I would say, not only be unrepairable, but be unrecyclable. You can do it, you can do the repairs, you can pull them apart for recycling, it just takes so long. It's really challenging. But it's product specific because Apple with the iPhone has really designed the iPhone to be easy to repair and easy to pull the battery out. So they're a little bit schizophrenic in this. They have some good products, they have some really terrible products. The iPod Shuffle. I don't think it's possible to get the iPod Shuffle open without hurting yourself. It is, it's all glued together and you have to get an X-Acto knife in and it just doesn't work. So we have to be a little bit nuanced in our criticism of manufacturers because there's some good products, there's some bad products. But over time, there should be pushback on those products where they're doing a bad job.
Okay, great. How about, what is iFixit's biggest challenge at the moment, would you say?
I think the biggest challenge that we face and that the entire market faces is the number of different products that are out there. You have tens of thousands of different products, different SKUs. You could have Toshiba, they could make the same laptop with 10 different variations, and it's hard to know what all the differences are. And you have to have repair information and parts that are specific to each one. So in the Android realm with cell phones, we've identified over 5,000 different Android cell phone models. And you can't necessarily take a headphone jack out of one cell phone and use it in another. So if you want to have a comprehensive repair solution for all Android phones, you have to have 5,000 different headphone jacks, which balloons the cost. So it'd be nice to standardize parts, but if you can't standardize parts, you can standardize information. So if we have part numbers for all 5,000 of those headphone jacks, then maybe you can have a few recyclers here and there, and everybody makes some of them available at different volumes.
Okay, all right. How about what's your, this can be the last question, but what's your ultimate vision for iFixit going forward? What do you see the company doing going forward?
Our mission is to teach everyone how to repair everything. So we are working towards putting together an open source comprehensive repair manual for everything. You should be able to go on iFixit and say, I have a toaster, how do I fix my toaster? And we should have the information for you.
My goodness.
Across the board, that's what we're working toward, and we're making really good progress.
Unbelievable. How long will that take?
It'll take a while, but people keep coming and saying, hey Kyle, do you have a repair manual for an oscilloscope or for a keyboard? And I say, no, we don't have that. And then I'll go online and I'll search, and sure enough, we do have a repair manual for an oscilloscope. I didn't write it, somebody else did, but that's wonderful. It's really exciting to see the snowball effect really start to take hold.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for the talk. I'm Kent Kaiser with ScrapTV. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.